Yesterday, I saw what looked like a lot of cope online talking about the Ghost of Tsushima sequel, The Ghost of Yotei, as it was out there and it was revealed that they're replacing the main protagonist with a female. And then it was like, it's not going to be that bad. Just because it's a female, it's not that woke. And I'm just like, the replacement thing is real. And it's not happening in a vacuum. These corporations are all doing this intentionally. They love to do the bait and switch. They love to start a deal and then actually go out there and change the protagonist to something else. And it's been a pattern. If it wasn't a pattern and it was just a one-time thing, I'd always say, hey, yeah, maybe it's not a big deal. Obviously, I enjoy plenty of things with female protagonists in it. It just depends on how it's done. But this is an intentional move. And when it comes to corporations, I always look at things and I say, the corporations at this juncture are guilty until proven innocent because they have a pattern and they have been pushing this agenda on us for far too long. I know exactly, if you've ever worked at a corporation, you know how it is. They have these seminars of harassment seminars and pronoun seminars and things like that they force you to do and complete just to work at these places. It comes from their HR departments on up. So it's very, very real. And when we actually looked into the protagonist's casting, you could tell that these people are very, very much doing this intentionally. This is not something that I think the Ghost of Tsushima and its franchise is going to recover from at this juncture. So it's bad. This does look very, very woke, and we're going to get into this in just a moment. My name's John Delarose, everybody. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here. I am, of course, all in on the culture war, helping talk about the things that a lot of people won't talk about. And even though this is a very controversial topic, and there's a lot of people, like I said, who are out there saying this is totally fine and all that, this is my take. And if it upsets people, it is what it is. Because I always tell the truth here, and that's why you can trust us over here. So thank you guys for joining us, being a part of this community. Really appreciate you. Even if you disagree, I appreciate you still. And so Sucker Punch is a subsidiary of PlayStation Studios, and this is where I get it. It's a subsidiary of PlayStation Studios, and usually we know what happens from Sony on down. Announced the next title, Ghost of Yotei, a sequel of Ghost of Tsushima, and revealed the game's main character, Atsu, will be voiced by a radical activist, Erika Ishii. Now, again, the main character, they are replacing the main character from Ghost of Tsushima. They're not following up on his adventure, which is what a lot of people wanted, by the way. And they're not doing that. It's not a side quest. This is just what they're moving forward with the direction of. They shared on X, we are thrilled that Atsu is played by the amazing Erika Ishii. Right here, new protagonist, a new story to unfold. They're definitely trying to lean into the feminism thing, very obviously. And so, once you get into it, she's very much a radical activist, like always. Gender wave, all pronouns, whatever that means. She's involved with Crit Roll, which is a pretty woke organization out there. And you can see she's even got like the shaved head. Strong female lead protagonist thing that they do. And I don't know if you've read a lot of comic books, if you've not, but they always do the shaved head thing where they kind of make her lesbianish and angry women. And that's exactly who this is. So she's an activist. She supports body mutilation, as That Park Place says here. Great website if you don't follow them. In June, she encouraged her followers on X to support For the Squirrels that targets black individuals to encourage them to butcher themselves. She wrote on X, non-black folks looking to observe Juneteenth. Black nonprofits also receive aid in boom or bust cycles. This year, consider making a monthly pledge. Whether you donate, volunteer, or commit to learning, please join me in my quest to be intentional and sustainable. I'm supporting For the Squirrels, a black trans collective. Well, at least they acknowledge they're not girls, they're like not real women. They're girls. I mean, that's a step in the right direction. That helps pay for rent and gender-affirming surgery in the black LGBTQ community. This is wild. Pay for rent. You want to talk about a grift? I should start a nonprofit to pay for my rent. I'll call it For the Chads. This is a nonprofit to pay for rent for awesome dudes. Oh my gosh, these people are insane. I can't believe like they get actual nonprofit status for this garbage. It's ridiculous. So there it is. Black Girls Code, of course. She's very much Black Girls in Tech. Here's our Black Trans Lives Matter. So yes, this is a radical activist, as you can tell. And in the voice acting community, there's a lot of that going on. They cancel anybody who has different opinions than them. We've, of course, seen how Vic Mignogna just got targeted mainly because he was a Christian actor out there, and they can't handle that. And so this is who they want representing their company. This is who they want as their lead. This is who they're promoting on Twitter at this point. And you can see here's the gender affirming surgery fund that she's trying to push for Juneteenth 2023 last year. We actively fight to reduce homelessness rates in the Black transgender community. We also fundraise on behalf of Black transgender people to lower the risk of accidents, from affirmative surgeries being done in ways that add greater health risks to the community. By the way, any of these are at a greater health risk to you as a person. Never do this or allow your loved ones to do this. It's mutilation. It hurts you. It lowers your lifespan. It causes problems always. And so get help if you are or any loved ones are attempting to do this kind of thing. In fact, ahead of Hogwarts Legacy, she also appeared to support the failed boycott of the game. So she's out there being an activist against decent games, like usual, that hates gamers. Due to J.K. Rowling's outspoken stance on transgender activists, she wrote, "I used to love Harry Potter. I went to every midnight release, cosplayed, was even in a Harry Potter-themed improv group, and I'm happy instead to be a part of fantasy narratives where all are welcome. Trans community, we deserve our own better magic. I will fight for that." And she says F TERFs in her video on this. There she goes. And she also added, "Muting, but I wanted to reiterate trans rights are human rights. I ask instead of replying to negative comments to turn that effort towards a positive action, a donation, sharing, supporting trans creators and trans joy, or in checking in with your trans friends and their happiness." And, of course, back in 2020, she went off on, everybody. We will not let these terrorists, January 6th, shake our resolve. And 2020 showed us we will rise up and make our voices heard, despite voter suppression, facing down a white supremacist police force, risking health and safety. We hit the polls and streets to say no more. They can't stop us. So here we are. This is exactly who she is, and there's a lot more. I mean, this is a lot. This is more than just a tweet or two. She is quite the activist out there, and this is who they're putting. This is who the Ghost of Yotei is about. This is the new protagonist, a new story that's unfolding. And I've seen it. I saw a lot of yesterday, and like I said, they feel like cope posts to me, saying, you know what, it's fine if it's got a female lead, if it's done well. Well, if it's done well and it's woke, it's still woke and it's still garbage. And this is exactly what's happening here. This isn't just a character with a female lead and that's doing something on its own. It's not Stellar Blade, right? It's not Final Fantasy 13. This is a thing where they're moving the franchise on and they're changing it in a direction that is pushing for the same corporate agenda that Ubisoft's doing in everything, that Rocksteady's doing in everything, that all these major companies do. And remember, they are a subsidiary of PlayStation Games. They're not just on their own. They're not some independent people just making a story because they think the story's great. These are activists within the corporate world, and they are hiring people who are pushing the craziest agendas out there. So that's what this franchise is now going to become. It's very, very sad to watch. And, they may do a decent job with this, but what they're doing is actually changing this, and they're changing it in an intentional direction that never changes the opposite way. You've never seen a female franchise that then went to a male lead. Can you name one? If you can, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear that. But I've never seen it before. It's always the same direction. It's always the same thing. And, I'm surprised they just didn't put in a Black Samurai. That would have just been icing on the cake for all of this, wouldn't it? Would have been very, very funny. But this lady's crazy and clearly is somebody who's anti-gamer and anti-you. And that is what Ghost of Yotei is going to be all about at this point. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. We will be back soon. Thank you, guys. And please check out my links in the description below. Support our art over here. See you soon.